I'm Jim Wachter, and I want to welcome everybody to the closing ceremony for the T2T, the 9/11 Memorial Exhibit. And you've all been through it, and it's awesome. It's a very emotional experience, and I feel very fortunate to have it here in Portland. I want to thank some people that made it all possible. Don Gillespie and Art Booth, wherever Art is out here, there he is. Larry Keller, Ivan Koffenberger from Fort Recovery, and a whole lot, Brian Williamson and Deb, and my wife, obviously, she put up with a lot. Well, they've all worked hard to bring this here. And we had a number of sponsors, and it is J&M Manufacturing from Fort Recovery was our primary sponsor, Portland Foundation, Portland Tourism Bureau, the Red Gold Products, and FCC, and the Jay County Fair Board. Jay County Fair Board provided the grounds for us for this whole show this week, and I can't be more thankful to all those sponsors and everybody that did that. Let's give them a big hand. I don't know if Don Gillespie's here. Don, are you here anywhere? Don is involved with Run for the Fallen, and one of the people with Run for the Fallen that works with him, or is part of the Run for the Fallen, is a teacher over in Lafayette, and he also is a severely wounded Afghan vet. And in June of this year, Tunnel to Towers provided him with a brand new house set up for him. He has no legs and an arm missing, and yet he's a football coach and teacher, and they provided him with a new house. So this organization took care of him. He was supposed to be here this weekend, but he's actually has some coaching duties, so he couldn't make it. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce the crew that was here. Got Andy over here, and we've been talking about it. I was going to say his name, last name Clancy, Pat Clancy. God, what an Irish name that is. And this is Billy Hull, and Bill's the truck driver. And I'll tell you what, this guy, he was on the road, got here Thursday afternoon, set it all up, had it up bright and early Friday. We're packing it up tonight as soon as we're done with this, and it's going to be packed. We need help, by the way. And then he takes off first thing in the morning for Quincy, Massachusetts. So he's on the road a lot, and he's kind of the heart and soul of this whole process. The other day when he came in, let's give them a hand. They've been there, they've done that. These are the guys. And I feel very blessed that we have them here. And Thursday when they came in, I presented Billy with a Portland shirt, and I didn't get the other two. So if Pat Clancy would step forward, I would like to present him with a Indiana Jay County shirt to remember us by. And Andy, if you would step forward, I'd like to present you with one of the Jay County Indiana shirts. You're now appropriate Hoosiers. Let's give them a hand. And Billy would like to say a few words.
First of all, come over here. Come on, y'all, come around over here, because you want to see something. Yep, get up, come on, get over here. Let's go. You can stand up for 3 minutes. You just gonna have to move when they start presenting colors, but you got to be up here front and center, folks. I just want to tell you one thing, and I mean this sincerely. I travel all over the country with this museum, and Friday, it was absolutely humbling. You got some great kids, and they came through, and how respectful they were. And when they walked out of that back door, they all shook my hand when they left. That is great. You guys are doing a wonderful job with the kids, and don't ever stop doing what you're doing. Thank you. Because I go to some places, it's not like that. And it's just very humbling and touching to know that in the Midwest, there's still a lot of values, and appreciate that. This exhibit, yeah, clap, it's for you, absolutely. And all of you have heard me speak enough back there. You know everything about this foundation and what we do, so I don't need to tell you anymore. But this gentleman standing back here, Jim, I think Thursday morning when I left Beaver Dam coming over here. It was an hour and 20-minute drive. I think he called me 9 times. Pretty sure it was 9. It seemed like every 10 minutes, where you at? And then when I finally told him I saw this water tower, I heard his voice change. He was happy that I was where I was supposed to be. But he's done a lot. We've done some communicating back and forth. I've learned a lot about him, and welcome home, and thank you for your service. He took us through it, yeah, absolutely. He took us through his museum the other night, and that was very humbling to see all the artifacts in there and hear the stories. And we just thought at Tunnel to Towers, we need to do something for him. So I'm going to turn it over to Pat Clancy right now, and we got a little presentation to make.
So, I heard about Jim and this town about 2 months ago. I was in Albany, Albertville, much smaller town, Albertville, Alabama. Jackie Eaton told me about what Jim did, and I related to this little town. I said, you know what? They've been saving for 3 years to get this here, and he had to do so much work. And then I'm telling people, and my son lives in Maine, and I'm going to tell him that there's a town in Indiana, Portland, that is better than your Portland in Maine. Yeah. So I had the Midwest is special. You're the fabric. You're holding this country together. Every time I go home, I tell stories. I almost thought I had my wife move out here, but it's a few miles longer than she's willing to go. But it's been a great 5 days for me, and I can't say enough about how special your children are, and the graciousness that we were given for the last 4 or 5 days, and I'll remember it. I may not be back, but I'll remember Portland, Indiana. So thank you, and we have a special present that this is the first. It hasn't been done yet, ever, I believe. And this is a special gift from Tunnel to Towers to this man. It is steel from the World Trade Center given to this person in his honor, in the shape. It weighs a lot. I might have to hold it for him. And it's presented to Jim for everything he does to get us here, and this town, what he does. And you know what? I should say, I know he's emotional. Can he say a word? Okay.
You can't say a word.
All I can
You
say
can't
is,
say one word.
holy crap. In the museum, we have a telephone that was used by George Bush on 9/11 at Offutt Air Force Base. There were 3 of them. One's at the Smithsonian, one's at the George Bush Library, and the other one sits just 3 blocks from here. And that is done. It says on the paper, it was authorized to give to us. This will sit right next to the George Bush phone. And I am so humbled and overwhelmed. Thank you.
So I just want to read what the plaque says. 9/11 World Trade Center steel donated by Tunnel to Towers Foundation to the Museum of the Soldier, Portland, Indiana. May we always remember the souls who perished on that fateful day, who suffered and sacrificed their lives so others may live. Pretty awesome.
Thank you beyond all words. Thank you. I'd like to ask Ivan Koffenberger to step forward. And Mike Weitzel, would you please come forward? Mike. I know you're here. Mike is the Portland Fire Chief. I want him to be recognized for all the assistance he's given us. He's done a lot to help us make this happen. And I'm gonna ask Ivan, because Ivan's from Mercer County, I want him to introduce the Mercer County people and things like that. And Mike, if you want to say a real quick word or anything.
I just want to thank Jim for all that he's done to get this project going, and he's seen it through, did a lot of work with it, so thank you, Jim.
I met Jim a few years ago through some long acquaintances we'll have to talk about sometime on there. But I'd like to introduce the Mercer County Firemen's Color Guard. They've been doing this for 22 years roughly. Most of the guys have been on the whole time, and we appreciate them coming over. They had another event that they could have done today, but we appreciate everything that they've done. We had several fire departments involved in the escort coming in, and so I'd like to thank Jim for everything they've done, and really appreciate the friendship of these guys right here. Thank you very much.
Okay, at this point, I'm gonna turn it over to the Mercer County Honor Guard.
Detail halt. Left face. Parade rest.
On Monday, we emailed jokes. On Tuesday, we did not. On Monday, we thought that we were secure. On Tuesday, we learned better. On Monday, we were talking about heroes as being athletes. On Tuesday, we relearned who our real heroes are. On Monday, we were irritated that our rebate checks had not arrived. On Tuesday, we gave money away to people we had never met. On Monday, there were people fighting against praying in schools. On Tuesday, you would have been hard-pressed to find a school where someone was not praying. On Monday, people argued with their kids about picking up their room. On Tuesday, the same people could not get home fast enough to hug their kids. On Monday, people were upset they had to wait 6 minutes at a fast food drive-thru line. On Tuesday, people didn't care about waiting up to 6 hours to give blood for the dying. On Monday, we waved our flag signifying our cultural diversity. On Tuesday, we waved only the American flag. On Monday, there were people trying to separate each other by race, sex, color, and creed. On Tuesday, they were all holding hands. On Monday, we were men or women, black or white, old or young, rich or poor, gay or straight, Christian or non-Christian. On Tuesday, we were Americans. On Monday, politicians argued about budget surpluses. On Tuesday, grief-stricken, they sang God Bless America. On Monday, the president was going to Florida to read to children. On Tuesday, he returned to Washington to protect our children. On Monday, we had families. On Tuesday, we had orphans. On Monday, we went to work as usual. On Tuesday, they died. On Monday, people were fighting the Ten Commandments on government property. On Tuesday, the same people all said, God help us all, while thinking, thou shalt not kill. It is sadly ironic how horrific events to place things in perspective, but it has. The lessons learned this week, the things we have taken for granted, the things that have been forgotten or overlooked, hopefully will never be forgotten again. The Fireman's Prayer. When I am called to duty, God, wherever flames may rage, give me strength to save a life, whatever be its age. Let me embrace a little child before it is too late, or save an older person from the horror of that fate. Enable me to be alert and hear the weakest shout, and quickly and efficiently to put the fire out. I want to fill my calling to give the best in me, to guard my friend and neighbor and protect their property. And if according to your will, I have to lose my life, please bless with your protecting hand my family and my wife.
Honor guard, attention. Present arms.
Throughout most of history, the lives of firefighters have been closely associated with the ringing of a bell. As they began their tour of duty, it was the bell that started it off. Through the day and night, each alarm was sounded by a bell that called them to fight the fire and place their lives in jeopardy for the good of their fellow man. And when the fire was out and the alarm had come to an end, the bell was rung 3 times to signal they were finished. Now our brothers and sisters have completed their task, their duties well done, and the bell rings 3 times in memory of and in tribute to their life and service.
Shoulder, shoulder, arms. Right face. Forward, march.
Let's give them a big hand. All the firefighters, ex-firefighters that are in the crowd, please hold your hand up. Let me see you, where you're all at. There's a bunch of you here. Okay. Thank you so much for what you've done. I would like to thank everybody that made this happen. I would like to especially thank the crew back here on in the exhibit for doing it, above and beyond the duty to make this happen to all the communities across the United States. And again, thank you for coming. And one closing comment. Everybody that can stay around to help pack us all up would be highly appreciated. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you, Buck.